Okay, we are starting up on a series of recap videos. I've been working on this model for a little bit. I'm about halfway to a third the way through with it. I'm going to take you guys through what I have done so far. But to start with, here's a shot of the box. It is a 1/350 scale model, which means she is quite large. This is a big box. I mean, here's my hand. This isn't the biggest model box I have. The biggest model box I have is for the C57D. The next one biggest is the 1/350 refit. This is the third. I mean, this is a large model. There are bigger models out there, don't get me wrong. You get into some of the resin models, they are huge. Okay, but for a plastic model, this thing's quite large. The refit model, the Polar Lights refit's the reason I got back into building models. But anyhow, I digress. Let me get into the model itself. I have the saucer section. I've gone around and I've placed the edge of the saucer, the rim of the saucer together, as you can tell. I don't have the deflector dish in. Okay, the edge of the saucer is fitting quite well. I've got this part in place. I've put this back panel in place, and I've put this panel. The two halves of the saucer are not glued together. I'm going to go through and discuss a few things real quick. So let me pull the top of the saucer off and set it aside. You will notice that this thing is very bright and shiny. Reason for that is this model is going to be lit, and all these are portholes. In fact, this thing's so big it's hard to get it in frame. All these are portholes, and they will light up. Okay, and I'm not using fiber optics on this. I am using some fiber optics, but not on the inside of the model like I would love to. I'd love to do fiber optics on the inside of this. It's just going to be, these holes are too huge for fiber. I mean, that's like 2mm fiber, 1.5mm fiber. Not that it would be overly expensive, it would just be hard to bend that fiber around. Alright? Now, the reason it's so shiny is I used an aluminum based paint. It is Rust-Oleum Metallics Silver, and it reflects light very well. Here's a photo from my test of the reflections. Okay, what I was doing in that photo is I was using a green laser pointer just to see how well the light reflected around. And you can tell in that photo that it just lit everything up. And I'm just showing it, shining the laser in one spot. Now, a couple of things. The edge right along here was very, very hard to glue down. This is an older model. I don't remember what year it was produced in, but these pieces had warped over time, and they did not line up properly. So what I would do is glue one end, clamp it, wait for it to set up really well, put a little bit more glue, clamp it, wait, let it set a little while, and I slowly progressed my way around the outside until I got the whole thing done. Same thing happened on this side. A couple of times I had to break those bonds and redo them. The foil, here, let me get the roll of foil real quick so I can show you what I'm using. I thought it was right there. Of course, there it is this stuff. This is the foil tape I'm using. It is an aluminum tape, actually. This is aluminum foil with a tape backing. It is from, well, it doesn't say who it's from. It just says Sure Tape, and it's AF912. This is for working on ductworks and homes. I'm doing a combination of reflective paint and this stuff. This stuff reflects light real well, and it blocks light fabulously. Between the two, I'm getting everything covered with little or no effort. Okay? So here's the bottom of the saucer section. The top of the saucer section is here. Now, I've done some things to the top. Anyone with good eyes can see there's some marks along here. The show has red and green lights coming out of the front of the saucer here. This doesn't have that, so I drilled some holes. I'm going to put some fiber through there and light those with green and red fibers. These two are molded in clear, but there's no holes drilled through, so I drilled holes through to either side, and I'm going to light them with blue LEDs. Either that or I'm going to use some fiber and paint the ends of them blue with Tamiya Clear Blue, which would work fine. The tape's in kind of weird places on the underside because I was blocking light leak with the tape. Anywhere where the paint was a little thin, I just threw some some of that aluminum tape over it to block it down real well. Now, a couple of things. This has a clear plastic dome on it, and it's supposed to be lit. It's an observation port. There's an equal observation port on the underside right here. Yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. I've already glued that clear piece on because I messed up. Okay? This deck along here was kind of hard to get in place, and along with these walls here, and I wasn't paying attention. I was focusing more on the difficulty of the decks, and I could have squeezed an LED in there and lit that with one LED. I'd have to dim it down quite a bit, but I could have done so, and I didn't pay attention. That's what you get for not thinking ahead and looking ahead. So this dome is not going to be lit, but the dome on the top is going to be lit. Okay? So I'm just going to take some black paint and paint over the windows. Along here, this is the landing bay. Okay? And that will end up with some little fiber optics protruding through there. Or, if I remember right, there's clear plastic that goes through there, so that does light up. I'm thinking about cutting out one of the landing bay's doors because I have some small shuttles in scale with this, some shuttle pods as they called them in the show, and some good photos of what the shuttle bay looks like from the outside, so I could scratch build a shuttle bay with a shuttle coming out. Not sure I want to do that or not, because if I do that, I'm fixing this to a base and it is not going to move. If I don't do that, I'm going to make a removable base so I can pick it up and carry it around separate of the base. You know, it's one or the other. And if I do fix it to a base, that's going to be hard to see anyhow, because it's on the underside of the ship. The base that came with this model is horrible, just so everyone knows. Lots and lots of posts on forums about it breaking. Speaking of breaking, I don't know if you can see this right here, but there's a little tiny radar dish right there, and no radar dish on this side over here. Don't put the radar dishes on until you're ready to paint. That's all I got to say about that. I've got the broken off radar dish. It will be fixed. I just broke off a little bit of glue and a tip of a needle, and I will fix that. The radar dishes on this side are about to break off, so I'm going to have to watch that. In fact, I just broke one off. I'm going to go put it in a safe spot. Yes, there's cat hair all over this where I've been storing it. My cats have been playing. So I'm going to have to clean all the cat hair off of it. But anyhow, that's where I stand on the saucer sections. Next up, the warp nacelles.